Tommy Hanson 7 strong innings on the way to his 10th win, while rookie Freddie Freeman provided the offensive power with his first multi-homer game. Tonight, they look to make it 2 straight over the Rockies. It's another hot, muggy night in the South, where the Atlanta Braves are going to try to stay hot tonight. They've won 9 of their last 11 games, and tonight it's Game 2 between Atlanta and the Colorado Rockies. And all season long, Atlanta Braves baseball on Peachtree TV and Fox Sports South, being presented by Academy Sports and Outdoors. The right stuff, the low price. And good evening once again, everybody. Joe Simpson along with Ron Gant. And we might say also that all season long, the Atlanta Braves, Ron, have had a couple of viable Rookie of the Year candidates.
You're absolutely right, Joe. And let's start at first base with Freddie Freeman. All he's done in his last 10 games is hit 4 homers and 11 strong RBIs, game-winning RBIs, you might say, for Freddie Freeman. And I'm going to tell you right now, every infielder will tell you that he has saved them at least 20 throwing errors over at first base. And then out of the bullpen, one of the most dominating closers in all of baseball, Craig Kimbrell. He's got 43 innings pitched this year, and he has 67 strikeouts. That's as dominating as they come. And for his work out of the bullpen, Joe, Gillette just named him National League Rookie of the Month for the month of June.
Yeah, pretty good work in June. 14 innings, 25 strikeouts against only 5 walks. Well, tonight the Braves will try to make it 2 in a row over Colorado with Derek Lowe on the mound. He's coming off a good start in Seattle to win the last game of that series. We'll talk about Derek when we come back. And Outdoors, by AT&T, by Delta Airlines, and by Hyundai. Just a few minutes away from first pitch tonight. Joe and Ron back with you at Turner Field, and tonight that first pitch for Atlanta will be delivered by Derek Lowe. He's coming off a very good start in Seattle, won the last game of that series, end of the road trip, so tonight he'll try to make it back-to-back good starts.
Well, Joe, that win against Seattle was his first win in 9 starts, and hopefully he can bring that out to the mound tonight. But, again, he went 6 innings, only giving up 4 hits and that 1 earned run. But what I noticed early on is he got ahead with that fastball inside to all these Seattle Mariner hitters, which opened the outside part of the plate. He had a really good two-seamer, which I call that Greg Maddux pitch, where he starts it off inside to the lefties and it breaks back across the inner half of the plate. So a good performance by him, and let's hope he brings that two-seamer into tonight's game.
And the Braves hitters will have a tough customer, too, in Yolis Chassin, who leads the Rockies staff in just about every pitching category. It's game 2 of the 4-game series. The Braves flashed a little defense. They had some long balls and some good pitching last night to win game 1. We'll see how game 2 turns out coming up next. Light breeze blowing out here at Turner Field, blowing out toward right field tonight as the Atlanta Braves take the field. Fans still filing in, and the temperature tonight 88 degrees here at game time with another dose of high humidity and that light breeze blowing out of the northwest. Derek Lowe begins his warm-up tosses in preparation for this lineup for Jim Tracy. Charlie Blackmon, the Georgia native, will move up to the leadoff spot again tonight. And Jonathan Herrera bats second. He's playing in place of Troy Tulowitzki, who suffered the quad injury last night. Todd Helton third. Ty Wigginton will move into the cleanup spot in the order. Seth Smith fifth. Mark Ellis moves down to number 6. Ian Stewart just called up from Colorado Springs, back in the big leagues. Having a tough go of it when he was sent down, as you can see. He'll bat 7th in Iannetta and Chassin, the battery for the Rockies. And on the mound for Atlanta, Derek Lowe.
The 6'6", 230-pound Derek Lowe from Dearborn, Michigan. And, again, he had a really good start, his last start out in Seattle. Let's hope he can have that two-seamer working again tonight. I think he's going to have to establish early inside so he can work the outside of the part of the plate with his slider. If he doesn't do that, then he's going to have to – they're going to sit outside on him, and they're going to try to go the other way. So if he can establish inside and get him thinking inside, it's going to open up the outside part.
The Braves' defense has been stellar in recent days. They've gone 7 straight games without making an error. McLeod, Schaefer, and Hayward in the outfield. Chipper back in the lineup tonight after only 1 day out after getting that cortisone shot. Gonzalez, Ugla, and Freeman round out the infield with Brian McCann doing the catching. Here's your list of umpires, and one of the better ball and strike guys, I think, in baseball. Laz Diaz behind the plate. Rookie Corey Blazer is at first base. Scott Berry at second. Wally Bell is at third. Braves are 50-36. This is tied for their high water mark of the year at 14 games over 500. They're in second place, 4 games back. And the first pitch of the ball game in there for a called strike.
There you go, Derek. That's what I'm talking about. Get ahead early, get a little confidence going.
He got off to a good start in Seattle, too. That was huge for him. He retired 7 of the first 8 he faced. And he gets the first ground ball of the night right to Ugla. And a good start for Lowe. That's 1 out.
Yeah, I think being efficient is something that if he does any of his starts with that sinker and keep that pitch count down, he would log those innings in just like he did his last start. He ended up going 6. You hand it over to this bullpen, it's pretty much lights out.
Herrera steps in and takes a strike. Jonathan last night got a couple of at-bats and was 1 for 2 after coming in for Tulowitzki. Hitting .244 on the year, but all right at .280 on the road. Sends that one straight up the chute. Schaefer wants it, and he's got it. Quickly 2 outs.
Efficient. You know, Joe, we talked about this pitching staff, the starting rotation of the Atlanta Braves, and, you know, very well deserved. But the thing I see the most that they've accomplished this year is quality starts. The Phillies have 57. That's first. The Giants and Mariners are tied at 55 for second, and the Braves and Angels have 54. So this starting rotation has been as advertised.
And very consistent. There's Todd Helton. He has faced Derek Lowe a lot in his career and has a .319 average against him. And .319 for the season with 9 homers. Two 2-0 the count. Helton had a base hit last night and drove in their only run. There's a strike, 2-1.
You know, I almost hate saying this, but, you know, I don't think we're going to be able to appreciate Todd Helton until after he retires. Actually, what he's done for the game of baseball, especially in that Denver area.
3-1.
One of the most consistent hitters. I actually played with him for half a season. It was just amazing day in and day out what he could do at the plate.
Out of University of Tennessee. And he draws a walk here in the first inning. And that'll bring up Ty Wigginton. Wigginton was 0 for 3 last night. And he's just 5 for his last 27. .260 average, 13 homers. That's over below.
Rockies needed that big right-handed bat, and they went out and got Ty Wigginton. Heck, he's been just effective against right-handers.
We're really pushing him for some all-star consideration, too. Sends that one foul and out of play. Two for 7 in his career against Derek Lowe with a homer. 1-1 the count.
Derek Lowe is pounding that strike zone early.
That breaking ball, 1-2. Well, when he finally got that monkey off his back by getting that win in his last start, had to give Derek a good feeling to get going again. 2-2. Seth Smith on deck. Got him with a breaking ball. Good start for Derek Lowe. He walked the batter, but he leaves him stranded. Rockies come up empty in the first. Braves are coming to bat.
Here's the Braves lineup. Freddie Gonzalez tonight. Leading it off would be Jordan Schaefer. Had a rough night last night. Alex Gonzalez second, then Brian McCann third. Chipper will bat cleanup tonight, back in the lineup. Freddie Freeman was hot last night. Jason Hayward bats sixth. Then Ugla, McLouth, and Lowe against Yolis Chacin.
Chacin from Maracaibo, Venezuela, and this guy has really good stuff, but he got shelled his last start. He gave up 6 runs in 5 innings against the Cubs. But his previous 3 starts to that, he was 3-0 with a 1 ERA. So this guy has some good stuff, and it'd be good to get to him early.
Jordan Schaefer 0 for 4 with 4 strikeouts last night. He'll try to get back on track against a guy who has the second lowest batting average against him, next to Tommy Hanson at 202. Lefties hit 202, righties 202. 6'3", 215. The numbers for Jordan for the season. Lined up the middle, base hit. There's a good start for Jordan. He needed that. He's 0 for his last 6.
Yeah, and this is something good to see from Jordan Schaefer. Gets a pitch down in the zone, a little two-seam sinker, but he stays up the middle. And you can tell right there his mental thought was, I'm going to use the middle of the field. I'm not going to try to pull him. Good scouting report by the Braves, and Jordan Schaefer took advantage of it.
Just what he tries to do, what the Braves want him to do, is get on base so he can run. Alex Gonzalez, the batter. Alex was 0 for 4 last night. 0 for his last 9.
I mentioned Jordan Schaefer giving this team a boost. 71% stolen base success rate. The rest of the team, 42%.
Yeah, he's a little different than everybody else.
Energy at the top of the order.
Alex takes a long look at Brian Snitker. To third. And Ian Stewart gets his first test. It's being called back up, and he starts a 5-4-3 double play. And speaking of defense, let's take a look at the Colorado defense. They're actually 4th in the league in defense with 46 errors committed. Wigginton moves out to the outfield tonight with Blackman and Smith. Stewart, Herrera, Ellis, and Helton from third to first, and Iannetta doing the catching. Rockies without Carlos Gonzalez, the defending National League batting champion, and without Troy Tulowitzki, hurt. 3 hopper to Helton from the bat of Brian McCann, and that'll end the inning. And just like that, Braves go 1-2-3 thanks to the double play, and we go to the second. Hey, some Okies here tonight. Drove 890 miles to see the game tonight. Hope it's a Braves win for you. Time for our AT&T U-verse trivia question. Brian McCann's .377 average against the Rockies is second among active players against Colorado. Who has the highest average with a minimum of 100 at-bats?
Thinking one of the teams out west, of course.
Yeah, you would think. Seth Smith, the batter, leading off the second inning, hitting .302, 8 homers, 1 for 3 last night. He had a double in the 7th. Good sinker there, 0-2. You were right about him pitching inside, talking about low, Ron, in Seattle, and a lot of it was that two-seamer. It's the left-handers. It was really coming back over the inside corner a lot. Tried it there, and Smith fought it off.
Yeah, you know, you watch Brian McCann back there, and you see him set up inside, and Derek's trying to do that again, is where he starts that two-seamer out. Again, Greg Maddux made that pitch famous, but starts it out inside, and it comes back over that inside corner of the plate. And for left-handed hitters, that's tough because it looks like it's going to stay inside, and the next thing you know, you're walking back to the dugout.
Just missed outside, 1-2.
But it also, like I said, opens up that outer part, which he just tried there. Try to go away and see if he would chase a pitch.
Almost hit him. 2-2.
I like it. I you know, as a hitter, you know, I was a pull hitter, and if guys would show me inside, then I'd get more pull happy. So that would open up the outside part of the plate against me.
Took a little off there. Good changeup. And he swings right over the top of it. Second strikeout for Lowe.
This is a great sequence of pitches here. And again, from pitching inside, all of a sudden you get a changeup. You know, he showed you 2 good fastballs in. One almost hit you on the leg. And, of course, you're going to think away.
And that was strikeout number 1,600 for Derek Lowe, who wasn't even aware of it. Brian McCann asked him to throw that ball in so they could save it for him, and he tips his cap to the fans. Nice milestone for Derek Lowe.
Well, as we know, Derek Lowe's been one of the biggest big-game pitchers in postseason history. And, you have to be around a long time to be able to strike out that many batters.
And he fires a strike in there to Mark Ellis, who got cooled off a little bit last night. 0 for 3 with a walk. He scored their only run. Off the handle to short, and Alex throws him out. 2 down. Strikeouts and ground balls, that's what you like from Derek Lowe. But he's got 1,600 strikeouts. He's 38 years old. He's been pitching forever. And you can really appreciate those guys that have struck out 3,000 or more.
Wow. Yeah, again, longevity, health, there's a lot of things that play into it. But Derek Lowe is, for the most part, hasn't been on the DL. And that's the reason why he has 1,600.
This is 16th year in the big leagues. There's one guy's got quite a few more than 3,000.
Hall of Famer.
Ian Stewart just back from AAA, hits a little number back to the mound, and he makes it an easy 1-2-3 inning for Derek Lowe. We go to the bottom of the second. Chipper will lead off for Atlanta.
ranked #1 in customer satisfaction nationwide for 6 straight years. Experience all the comfort and amenities you expect at an unexpectedly low price. Jameson Inn. Live large, pay less.
Here's tonight's Jameson Inn upcoming schedule. 2 more games remaining on this homestand and in this series with the Rockies. And tomorrow night, Jair Jurgens against Aaron Cook, the veteran who's just back from the disabled list. Jair just named to the All-Star team, will make his first start since being appointed and may get the start for the All-Star game. We'll wait to see. Chipper stands in and takes a strike. Sat out last night's game after getting a cortisone shot on Monday afternoon. No, Sunday afternoon. Said it's still a little sore, but a lot more stable, he said. Feels more stable. Two and two from Chacin, who was signed by the Rockies when he was 16 years old. Out of Venezuela, as Ron told you. 4-pitch guy, can throw in the low to mid-90s. And he strikes out Chipper on a breaking ball. First strikeout of the night. And Freddie Freeman comes to the plate. He's the subject of our Sunshine House leaderboard. National League averages among rookies.
Guys having some pretty good years there, but Freddie's right there in the mix.
Espinosa from the Nats leads in homers and RBIs. And Freddie's on the climb on that average.
400 in his last 5 games with 6 RBIs, so he's not missing much.
2 for 3 last night, 2 homers. And he drives this one to center and deep. Back goes Blackman, and that's gone. Stay hot, Freddie.
You're absolutely right, Joe. Stay hot. This guy, I've talked about him time and time again. And every time he gets an at bat, it seems like he learns how to hit. Early on, he got a little pull happy the first month of the season, but now he's driving these pitches over the middle of the plate. He's driving them straight away center field in the opposite way. He's getting locked in. This guy's getting better each day.
See Chacin's reaction. I bet that ball hadn't even gotten out of the infield yet. He was kicking the dirt. But he knew. It's a 15th home run he's allowed. And for Freddie, he's got 12 on the year, and he's driven in 39 runs. Wow. Straight away center.
Yeah, you've talked about this before, Joe, and he's not doing it against average pitchers. We're talking about he's hitting home runs against guys that know how to pitch, and solid pitchers.
Well, you talked about Chacin having a bad start against the Cubs his last time out, but before that, he was as good as anybody in the league over 3 starts in early June. And on the heels of the homer, he walks Hayward. First walk for him, and walks have been a problem for him. Even in that good streak in June, he walked 17 batters in 31 innings. Dan Uggla 0 for 3 last night, 0 for his last 9, 1 for 15 on the homestand. His average down to 173. And he takes low.
Mentioned Chacin's last start where he gave up those 6 runs. 3 of those were homers, so he's definitely making mistakes.
And takes a breaking ball for ball 2. Well, Schaefer broke out with a line single in the first inning. Let's see if Uggla can get going here. Hayward with 4 stolen bases draws the throw. Chacin's allowed only 3 stolen bases this season. Must be quick to the plate. Iannetta blocks that one, and it's 3-0. Todd Helton in to bark at him a little bit. So is Herrera. Maybe thinking about that home run still.
Well, he probably hasn't pitched in weather like this before this season. I mean, it's hot and humid here. And, of course, you know how dry it is in Denver.
4-pitch walk to Ugla. 2 on for McLeod. Nate was 1 for 2 last night. Bob Apodaca will come out and try to calm down his young pitcher. Hey, check this out, Ron, and watch Chacin's reaction after Freeman hits this homer.
No, come back, please. Don't. Too late. Yeah, that's the middle of the plate. And again, as hitters, we make our living on mistakes. And right now, Freddie Freeman, every mistake he's getting, he's not missing them.
Ball is really jumping off his bat. Easy to see why it's hard to wipe that smile off his face. They got Jimenez last night. Hit a 2-run homer off him in the first and hit a home run off Reynolds in the 8th.
Well, I'm sure he does this, but if I'm Freddie Freeman, I go home with Chipper, I come to the ballpark with Chipper, I sit on the bench with Chipper. Yeah. I just pick his brain as much as I can. You got one of the best sitting right next to you.
2 on, 1 out. Braves up 1-0. They are 36-8 when they score first.
I'm sure Chipper might kick him out of the house sooner or later.
Yeah. Sharon might say, you know, we got enough people to feed around here.
That's right.
Misses again. There's a strike. So 25 pitches right now, and 14 of them have been outside the zone. And one of them was outside the ballpark. Hayward got his attention, dancing around out there at second base a little bit.
Martin Prado is supposed to start his rehab assignment.
Yeah, that's exciting news. I know he's fired up. Broken back grounder foul past Terry Pendleton. And the count goes to 2-2. A couple of strikes after 10 straight balls outside the zone.
There's Martin sitting there, taking some batting practice. He's going to try to get about 30 at bats or so, isn't he?
Yeah, and he said he was running the stairs yesterday, trying to get his legs better, get them in shape. He said they're a whole lot better already than they were the first couple of days. 2-2, hit in the air down the left field line, but that'll slice out of play.
Well, that's a good plan for Martin Prado, because, you know, playing outfield, some of these ballparks that you have to go, like a Coors Field, there's a lot of ground to cover. So those legs better be in shape. You won't end up pulling anything.
Yeah, and when they were talking about maybe having him back for this weekend series with the Phillies, I thought that was pretty ambitious, and turns out it more than likely he'll be ready for after the break. Full count now to McLeod. And with the pitcher on deck, you might see the runners going here with 1 out. the line for Chassin against the Cubs. 5 innings, 9 hits, and 3 walks. He gave up 6 runs. And as Ron said, of the 9 hits, 3 were long balls. Runners not going. Good thing they weren't. Swing and a miss by McLouth on what looked like a pitch out of the zone. Second strikeout for Chassin. And Derek Lowe will have to help himself.
And that's why it's so hard to hit in the 8th spot. You have to be very disciplined in that spot with the pitcher hitting behind you, because it doesn't matter if it's 2-0, 3-0, 3-1, 2-1. The pitcher's not going to give in to you with the pitcher on deck, so you have got to be disciplined and zone the pitcher out. Anything outside that zone, it's hard to lay off of it, but you almost have to expect for them not to throw you strikes.
Derek does have an RBI, as you see. 4 for 27 on the year. Might ambush that first one. Tried. Fouled it out of play.
Did you ever like that idea? I guess Tony La Russa was the one that kind of implemented it, hitting the pitcher 8th.
I think it depends on your person that you've got batting third. In their case, Albert Pujols. I didn't think it was all that sharp to begin with, but the more I thought about it, the more it made sense.
Yeah, you have a guy hitting 9th, maybe like a Nate McLouth. So you have basically 2 leadoff men with Jordan Schaefer at the top. So I think that's some of his thinking also.
And as important, your number 3 hitter suddenly becomes a cleanup hitter too next time around. Derek lays off that one in the dirt. A ball and 2 strikes. Chassin trying to limit the Braves to just the 1 run on the homer by Freeman. Two on, 2 out. Up the middle, Herrera in between hot, but he's got it, and he's going to get 4 outs in the inning. He turned that into a double play. So the Braves, I guess, will only have 2 outs next inning.
Only
a Freddie Freeman
3
homer
in this league.
puts the Braves on top with his 12th homer of the year. By Freddie Freeman, we go to the 3rd inning. Time for our SunTrust Solid Performance. And tonight we honor Craig Kimbrell, who was just named National League Rookie of the Month for the month of June.
Well, Craig has been outstanding for the Atlanta Braves, one of the best young right-handed closers in all of baseball. And I mentioned 43 innings on the year and 67 strikeouts. I mean, he gets 2 every time he takes the mound. So Craig Kimbrell has been outstanding for Atlanta.
Should
be on the All-Star team, I think.
And he might still. We'll see how it plays out with so many pitchers pitching Sunday that have been elected to the All-Star team that won't be able to pitch on Tuesday. He might still get in. Had a 1-2-3 ninth inning last night without a strikeout. That's a rarity for him. Bottom part of the order for the Rockies in the third. Iannetta, Chassin the pitcher, and then back to Blackman. Iannetta 0 for 2 with a walk last night, hitting .224. Breaking ball in the dirt, and another breaking ball that got him to chase. Lines that one to center. Jordan started in, now he goes back and he'll make the catch. One out. Fans, get your tickets now to see the world's greatest party band, the B-52s, as they perform a free post-game concert presented by Coca-Cola and Delta Airlines following the Braves against the Nationals game Saturday, July 16th. Get your tickets in advance at braves.com/B52s. Love Shack. Huh? Love Shack indeed. Yolis Chassin, a big B-52 fan. 3 for 31 on the year.
Mentioned that Jordan Schaefer on that line drive by Chris Iannetta kind of started in. That's actually the hardest ball for an outfielder.
Short work for Derek against Chassin.
What you have to do is you have to freeze and make sure it's not over your head first. And if you have to come in, you can come in, but you don't want the ball going over your head where you're running in towards the infield.
Charlie Blackman grounded out his first time up. 0 for 5 in the series. Boy, he got robbed of 3 hits last night. It'll be a little frustrating, including one on that bunt attempt when Brooks Conrad made a Brooks Robinson type of play.
You can see why they're high on him. Really good at bats last night, like you mentioned. He's got a pretty good swing up there. Good idea of the strike zone.
Yeah, can play all 3 outfield positions. Chased one there. 1-1. And again, if you weren't with us last night, he was at Georgia Tech to pitch until playing the outfield in Summer League between his freshman and sophomore year, and really got going as a hitter. You can tell when hitters are doing that, Ron, that Derek's got a good sinker working.
Yeah, they're rolling over on it, as they say. It's because he is working both sides of the plate. You pitch inside, you get that hitter thinking in. Then, of course, he's going to roll over on a few trying to pull it.
Just missed. 2-2. Struck him out. Good inning again for Derek Lowe. He has set down 9 of the first 10 he's faced, and the Braves lead 1-0. long balls, and on our Hardy's game summary, that's what we've got again tonight.
Yeah, Freddie Freeman providing the power and fireworks left over from last night, and Derek Lowe right now is continuing the pace that he had in that last game against Seattle.
Jordan Schaefer lined a single to center his first time up, then was erased in a double play. Average up to 229 with that base hit. Chassin has a curveball, slider, and a changeup. He'll throw both the curve and the slider until he kind of figures out which one's working best usually. As Jordan puts a charge in one to deep right center. Smith on the run, and now he gives way to Blackman, who calls him off. And Charlie makes the catch right at the edge of the track. One away in the third.
Jordan Schaefer just gets a little under this pitch here. Blackman does a great job of calling the right fielder off. That's from working out there at Coors Field. A lot of ground to cover, so those guys have to communicate well.
Alex hit into the double play his first time up. And with him in the box, here's our Delta Airlines on deck. Brian McCann, 5 homers, 10 RBIs his last 14 games. And wisely sets up over there closer to the Braves dugout with a right-handed hitter up. Just to give him a little distance there between the hitter and himself in case there's a quick foul tip. I don't know who instigated that for the Braves, but it's a smart idea. So many guys getting nailed on foul tips.
You don't want to see anyone get hit there, especially McCann. He's pretty much been the MVP of the season so far.
Breaking balls high, 2-2. Got to get these right-handed hitters going. Get somebody hot. Alex 0 for his last 10. Ugla 1 for his last 15. As Alex fans again and sends his bat into the crowd as it slipped out of his hands. Strikeout number 3 for Chassin.
Guess it was a good thing McCann wasn't on that side.
Right.
Talked about it a lot, putting extra netting up, kind of extending it a little bit. It's a danger zone right in that area.
Brian grounded out his first time up. Yeah, as I've said before, Ron, I wouldn't be very popular because I'd have a high screen all the way down at least to the end of the dugout. So little time to react on those fast foul tips and flying bats. Shift on for Brian, and he takes a strike. 2-1. Got a base hit his first time up last night, hitting one right through the shift, and then Freeman followed with a 2-run homer. 2 right on the corner. Great pitches by Chassin to even the count.
You mentioned this earlier. You got the shift on, and you're pitching him away.
Yeah. Brian saying the ball hit the dirt first. Ioneta's running off the field. Laz Diaz is believing Ioneta. Freddie Gonzalez will take it up. They're going to want some help. That bounced.
Ron McCann is right.
That bounced. And it doesn't look like Laz Diaz is going to ask for any help. Wally Bell is kind of creeping in from third base, but still Laz is not asking for help. We'll find out if he's eventually going to when we come back. For Derek Lowe. He was hot around the collar in the dugout. Let's hope that doesn't carry over to the field because of this.
Well, for good reason, Joe. This ball actually does hit the ground, and I'm telling you, Brian McCann is a much better man than me, because I probably would have got tossed in this game.
He's still jawing at Laz Diaz, and they're having an extended conversation here. But Brian McCann is a guy who rarely, if ever, argues. You'd think that he might be given the benefit of the doubt. Why not ask for help and get it right? Jonathan Herrera leads off for the Rockies and takes ball one.
That's just a tough call for an umpire.
It is.
You can't see where that ball actually hits, because it actually leaves the umpire's view once it gets past the plate. So I know it's a tough call, but that's why you ask for help.
That's right. That's all the more reason to ask. Herrera flips one off the end of the bat for a base hit. Good start to the fourth inning for the Rockies as they get their first base hit. And now Brian's got to let it go and concentrate on the task at hand with Derek Lowe. Especially with this part of the order.
I don't think he's let it go yet, though, Joe.
Todd Helton drew a walk his first time. Herrera has 4 steals, and he's also been caught 4 times.
No, it doesn't seem like a lot, but you know, that's an at bat you wish you could kind of take back. You get you foul tip a pitch into the ground, and you never know, you might get that next pitch that could be a mistake and run into one. So that changes the complexion of the game, actually.
Which was the argument on Sunday when Chipper got rung up on those horrible calls by the home plate umpire in a 1-run game. Good breaking ball. 1-2 to Helton. Already more homers and more RBIs than he had all last season.
Health. He's got that back issue that he had. He's pretty much cleared that up. Worked extensively in the offseason trying to strengthen his core.
2-2 the count.
It just gives you such a mental edge when you work that hard in the offseason, you feel like you come back in shape. It just a mental factor gets you through a good season.
Yeah, especially if you know that if you're not doing well, it's not because you're not feeling good and in shape and in tune. That's one area you don't have to worry about. Full count to Helton. We'll keep an eye on Herrera. He's going. A little tapper to third. Chipper will make the play. Herrera stays at second. One out. Ty Wigginton will be the batter. Struck out his first time up. Breaking ball missed.
Showed you the stars on the back of Chipper's jersey. Only 4 errors this year for the third baseman, having a really good year defensively and driving in runs, key runs.
That's off the foul of Wigginton.
You know, and you thought after the injury last year, having that knee repaired, that he would have a little bit of a problem this year with it, but he's made some outstanding plays over at third base.
Yeah, his mobility's been very good.
There was one game that scared me where he had to pretty much make that same play where he went towards the foul line, jumped and threw the first, and I thought, man.
Alex charges. The runner at second freezes, and Gonzalez handles an in-between hop. And with Derek Lowe getting his 1600th strikeout an inning ago, Ronnie, I mean, look at these numbers. How many guys have 3,000 hits? How many have 500 homers and 300 wins? There's quite a few in those 3 categories. But in that last line, the 3,000 strikeouts, only 16 guys. Derek got his 1600th tonight.
That's mind-boggling to me. 3,000. I don't know. How can you get 3,000 strikeouts? I mean, most pitchers, especially nowadays, you end up on a shelf a lot. That's why guys like Derek Lowe is so valuable, because he takes the mound every time his day comes up.
John Smoltz got his right here at Turner Field a couple of years ago. Oh, 1-1 to Smith. He pulls this one to Freddie, gets an in-between hop, but handles it and wins the foot race. Hustle over there. To end the inning, leadoff single amounted to nothing. We go to the bottom of the 4th. 1-0 Braves. second inning. He'll bat second this inning behind Chipper, who struck out his first time up. Chipper's got a little mini 3-game hitting streak working, 4 for 11 in that streak coming in. And sends that one slicing down the line. That might stay fair. It does, into the corner, and bounces into the bullpen for a ground rule double. Chipper's got his 22nd double of the year.
That's a tough pitch to hit right there, but Chipper is so good and so balanced at going the other way with these types of pitches. And one thing I was looking at, I was kind of happy it did bounce over the fence so he could take it easy after getting that quarterback.
Yeah, good point. Well, here's the man that's hotter than a dancing bobcat, and that's Freddie Freeman. 3 homers in his last 4 at bats.
Must be an Oklahoma term.
Probably.
Well,
who knows where that came from?
Well, we have some worse ones down there in Texas, believe me.
You missed it. Here's the homer to straightaway center.
Yeah, mistake by Chassin. He was trying to come inside off the plate, and that pitch caught the middle of the plate away. Freddie Freeman driving the ball the other way. Strong so far this season.
Out of play. Ron, I know you got into some grooves like this certainly more than once in your career, but where you just see the ball so well and you just know this guy, there's nothing he can throw you that's going to get you out.
Yeah, it's because you are seeing it so well. You're cutting down some of that movement, and you're not. The main thing is you don't have a lot of different things on your mind, different swing thoughts. You have one simple thought, and you go up there. You have a game plan before you walk into the batter's box. And if they make that mistake against you, you're right there. You see the ball like it's a softball, and you just don't miss it. That's the kind of groove he's in right now.
2-2 the count. Like to get Chipper over to third if he can. Nobody out. But he strikes out here on a good breaking ball. 5 strikeouts now for Chassin, who leads the Rockies in virtually every pitching category: innings pitched, strikeouts, wins.
I know Freddie struck out that at bat, but that's not a bad try. He was actually trying on that pitch. He was trying to pull the ball over the hole. That was just a good pitch by Chassin.
Jason Hayward drew a walk his first time. Looking for his 21st RBI of the year. Time called, and Wally Bell yelling at Brian McCann in the dugout.
Wally's telling Freddie and Brian to let it go. They're still kind of harping on that foul tip in the dirt. Wally is the crew chief, so he's not going to take much.
Breaking ball strike there. Wally kind of said what I said last half inning, but when Brian was catching those, get back to business, calling the pitches. Shows you what kind of competitor that guy is, though, and hating to have an at-bat taken away from him.
And you're right, it takes a lot to get him heated.
Yep.
And that's the reason why he's such a good hitter, because he's been able to let those at-bats go where he doesn't get a guy in from third with 1 out. He doesn't take it up his next at-bat. There you have consistency.
It looked like, though, at the end of the inning when he and Laz Diaz had that extended conversation at the end of the half inning, like they had it all worked out.
Mm-hmm.
In the dirt, that's going to move Chipper over to third base.
Thank you very much.
I bet you. Give Jason a little better opportunity to get him in.
Well, this is a pitch where you have to trust your catcher that he's going to block it. You want that hitter at the plate to chase something down in the dirt, but Chris Iannetta could not get in front of that and keep it in front of him.
Infield comes in, not all the way, but halfway in. And Jason pops it up. See if it stays in play for Iannetta, and it will, right on the screen. So 2 down for Ugla.
Well, Jason wishes he had that pitch back, because that's a perfect pitch actually to get a sacrifice fly on. He just got underneath it.
Dan walked his first time. He's got a good breaking ball working here. 0-1. Seems like when you're struggling, Ron, the RBI opportunities always find you. Check this out. Between Ugla and Alex Gonzalez, they've had an opportunity to drive in 173 runners from scoring position this year, but they've combined for only 25.
And that's a lot of the reason why the Braves do struggle against left-handed pitchers, is those two guys are struggling. And when you have those tough lefties out there, with the amount of lefties that the Braves have in their lineup, those two guys are, the pressure even builds on them.
Yeah, they got to get it cranked up. 2-2. And to think that the Braves are 14 games over 500 at this point, only 4 games out, lends you some confidence to think that, you know, when these two guys do get going, this team's really going to be something to watch. Stopped by Iannetta. Full count. Nate McLeod would be next.
I mentioned the Braves starting rotation and their quality starts, and offensively, if they just get a little consistent, this team's much better.
Dan's got a steady dose of breaking balls this at bat. He got another one, and he lays off. Good at bat to draw the walk, and now McLeod will have a chance to come in and plate a run.
And Joe, to prove your point, the Braves have won 11 out of the last 14 games, but the offense is only hitting .233.
That's impossible. It's just impossible to do that and hit .230.
They're just not letting the other teams in.
Nope, they sure aren't. Nate struck out his first time up. Takes low. Chacin has a complete game shutout this year. It came in April. The team that just beat him up his last start, he threw a 6-hit shutout against, and that's the Cubs. 2-0 to Nate.
That was actually a pretty good pitch, but Iannetta kind of had to reach back over the plate and he set up outside, so that threw Laz Diaz off.
They have a base open, but it's at second base if they want to get to low with 2 out. But there's a strike.
Like the same pitch. You can definitely tell Chacin is missing some of his spots, according to the way Iannetta's setting up and where he's ending up with that glove.
He wanted that pitch and didn't get it. 3-1.
Definitely struggling with his command, but Just a 1-run lead for Atlanta so far. So he's hanging right in there.
And an opportunity for Nate to look for something other than the fastball here, knowing the pitcher's batting behind him. And it was a breaking ball in the dirt. He took it for ball 4. That's 4 walks issued by Chassin, and they're loaded for Derek Lowe, who grounded out with a couple on back in the 2nd inning.
Chassin has had 6 walks in the game twice this year so far. You continue to do that, teams will take advantage of it. See if the Braves do here.
But and the thing about that is, even against teams that aren't hitting much, like Atlanta, you keep putting guys on base, somebody's going to get a hit.
Yeah, absolutely.
Somebody will drive a couple of runs in, and then because you've helped them.
Yeah, I mean, there's teams out there that struggle offensively, but these are big league hitters. Sooner or later, if you make a mistake, they're going to take advantage of it. You can't just keep walking guys and get guys in scoring position without one of these guys running into them.
Actually, when Derek grounded out in the 2nd inning, he grounded out for the 3rd out and the 4th out, as Herrera didn't know how many outs there were. Turned a double play when there were already 2 outs in the inning.
Yeah, there's only 3 in this league, kid.
Derek's in the hole 0-2. Phillies have jumped all over Chris Volstadt and the Marlins. They lead 5-0. Batting in the top of the 4th. That saved the run.
Yes, it did. You talked about the Braves struggling offensively with this great starting rotation. Well, the Phillies hadn't really been swinging the bats well either. So if that offense gets started with the way their rotation is set up, it's going to be tough.
Off the end of the bat, now to play. Heard a rumor today that the Phillies had an interest in a right-handed hitter for the Kansas City Royals named Jeff Francoeur.
Phillies are definitely in need of a right fielder since Jason Worth left.
And they need some right-handed balance too.
And you get a good outfielder that can throw runners out at the plate. So it kind of makes sense for him.
And a good stop by Iannetta, and it's 2-2. Derek Lowe, 1 for 21 in his career with the bases loaded. Has never walked with the bases loaded.
Goes up there hacking, doesn't he?
Yes, he does. And pulls that one down the line. Fair ball. That'll plate at least 2. Nate McLouth around third. He'll be waved home. He'll score standing. And Derek Lowe is 2 for 22 with the bases loaded. And he clears the sacks. Four to nothing Atlanta.
Yeah, you pitch around one guy and you get a big league pitcher that's a hit or two. Tries one down the left field line. You take a look at the guys in the dugout. Tim Hudson is loving it.
Derek Lowe quadrupled his RBI output. He's up to 4. Great at bat. Laid off a bunch of breaking pitches and got a fastball. Schaefer, 2-hopper to first. Helton to Chassin to end the inning. And Yolis Chassin has got to wonder what in the world just happened. A 3-run double by Lowe. 4 to nothing Atlanta. trivia question, which tonight was Brian McCann is number 2 on the list of players in batting average against Colorado with a minimum of 100 at bats. Who is the player with the highest?
That's a tough one.
I'm going to say
one of the Dodgers, Matt Kemp.
Well, that's who I was going to say. So I'll go
Ethier also.
I'll go Stephen Drew with the D-backs.
Woo.
So
Cabrera. He's got a high average against everyone. It seems like. What a hitter he is.
That 406 is probably peanuts against some of the other teams.
How did he face the Rockies that much?
I guess when he was with Florida.
100 at bats.
Eight games a year, 7 or 8 games a year. That's about 30 at bats. Mark Ellis leads off for the Rockies. Derek would like to have a nice shutdown inning since he just put 3 across for Atlanta with a bases loaded double. 10 of the first 12 outs recorded by Derek have either been ground outs or strikeouts. Two and one. Up the middle. No, great stop by Ugla, but he'll have no play. That was going to be a comebacker to the mound, but Derek followed through too far over to the first base side. Had some rain at the ballpark the last couple of days and some soft turf out there.
Like one of my divots after an iron. But, you know, that's one thing that Dan Ugla has done this season. I know hasn't been consistent at the plate, but he has been playing a really good second base for the Atlanta Braves defensively.
He has indeed, and always hustles. Good base runner. Ian Stewart, the batter, hit a comebacker his first time up since getting called back up. This guy playing third base and Dexter Fowler in center were two places that I don't think Jim Tracy was too worried about coming into the season. Didn't work out that way. But the last two seasons, not a real high average for Stewart, but a lot of pop. 2 years ago, he had 228, 25 homers, 70 driven in. Last year, he hit 256, which was a good improvement. 18 homers, 61 RBIs. But this year, an .063 average and 1 RBI, no homers. And he draws a walk. Ouch. 2 on, nobody out. And while Roger McDowell goes out to chat with Derek Lowe, we'll chat with you about this. Play hooky from work. Bring your clients, co-workers, or family to Turner Field this Thursday to see the Braves against the Rockies at 1 o'clock. It's the Braves Sun Trust Business Fan Special, and fans that buy tickets at Braves.com/sickday can save up to 37% off and pay as little as $10 for a great seat. For details, visit Braves.com/sickday. And you can also go to Braves.com/sickday and get one of these Hudson Healthcare certificates. You can print it out, and it's actually like a hall pass where you just take it to your employer and say, you know, this is actually from Tim Hudson. I regret to inform you that your devoted employee, Ron Gann, has been stricken with a case of missing baseball-itis, a rare illness found in Braves country, et cetera, et cetera. Braves.com/sickday for your certificate.
You don't know how true that is.
Chris Iannetta, the batter, line to center his first time. 0-2.
That's the only drawback from Derek Lowe hitting that double is he had to run the bases. As hot as humid as it is here, sometimes that'll take a toll that next half inning.
And maybe that's why Roger spent so much time out there, is to give him a chance to catch his breath. 1-2 the count. Derek always wears long sleeves, but these days those sleeves are not real hot. They breathe, they wick the sweat away from your arms. It's not like the old woolly long sleeves of the old days. Chance for 2, probably not. Too softly hitting, so it'll work as good as a bunt for Iannetta. And move runners to second and third for the pitcher, who's going to hit for himself.
There's that range I was talking about with Chipper Jones. And right now, that last play he made looks like that quarter zone is working pretty well.
But you're right, that was a good play, because I don't know that Alex could have gotten to it in time. Chacin was swinging away that first time up, chased some bad pitches and struck out. He's still hacking. Derek Lowe just drove in 3 runs with a double. Chacin would like to drive in a couple himself right here. And stopped by McCann. Been low. 2-1. Pirates leading Houston 3-1, bottom of the 5th. Pittsburgh's 3 games over 500, the latest in the season in 12 years.
Well, a game and a half back.
Yeah. And they've had 4 straight sellouts at PNC Park. That's awesome. 2-2. Full count to the pitcher. Charlie Blackmon on deck. Stays alive, fouls that one off catcher and the umpire.
Chacin very aggressive at the plate.
Got a pretty good swing. Good stance on top of the plate. Fights that one off and it'll get a run in. Ugla will throw him out, but Chacin has his first RBI of the year. And the Rockies are on the board, and it's 4-1.
Derek Lowe actually jams Chacin here and just kind of fights it off, and that's all you need to do in that situation. Just put the ball in play. They're giving you a run.
So a little bit of payback for Chacin against his counterpart. And Charlie Blackmon, with 2 outs, has a chance to plate another. He has grounded out, struck out. Chipper's in on the grass in case he tries to bunt again, something he tried last night.
Good backdoor slider there for strike 1.
And he lines one over Ugla's head and picks up that 2-out RBI and his first hit of the series. And has his 8th RBI of the year, and it's 4-2.
I said it, Joe, this guy's got a pretty good idea of the strike zone, and that's not a bad pitch. You see where Brian McCann was actually expecting to catch that ball, and he almost had his glove on the dirt. So he went down and got that pitch. That's a good piece of hitting there.
And he can fly. Not running as Herrera takes ball 1. When I was given a scouting report on Charlie Blackmon, I was told, think Steve Finley, only faster. It's a pretty good scouting report.
Steve Finley, one of the best base runners that the National League has seen. It's a pretty good comparison.
He stole those 5 bases in his first 9 career big league games. And now Derek nibbling, and he's behind 3-0. Herrera had a little soft single to left his last time up. He's 1 for 2.
I think Derek needed a little bit of a breather right there. You see him change the ball there, and he takes a deep breath as he's receiving a new one. So it might be laboring just a little bit.
Hey! 3-1. Need to get this guy. You don't want to have to face Helton this inning. Strike 2. And Blackmon will be running on this pitch. There he goes. And it's ball 4. Second walk of the inning, third of the night for Derek, who entered the inning with a 4-0 lead. 27 pitches in the inning. And Todd Helton will hit with runners at first and second. He's walked and grounded out. Tying runs aboard. Good slow curve. 0-1. Another mark of a pretty good hitter to me, Ron, is here's a guy that's got over 2,000 hits, over 2,000 games, and everybody still plays him straight away because there's no one way to defend him. Hits the ball all over the place. Missed with that slow curve, and Derek wanted the call and didn't get it. 2-1.
Todd Helton's only 4 for 30 with 2 outs and runners in scoring position on the season, though.
An odd number for him. It's that one sharply, but right to Ugla, who will throw him out and end the inning. Rockies get on the board. They get a couple of runs. They do it on a couple of hits and leave 2. They go to the bottom of the 5th, 4-2 Atlanta. by SunTrust, by AT&T Uverse, by McDonald's, and by Toyota. Rockies have come back to make it a ball game. We go to the bottom of the fifth. Heart of the order up for Atlanta. Braves up 4-2. Gonzalez, McCann, and Chipper due up. Against Yolis Chassin. Joulys. Pronounced Yolis. Out of Venezuela, he made his mark, really got the attention of the organization, if he didn't have it already, back in 2008. That year he's pitching just north of here in Asheville, and between Asheville and Modesto, 2 stops that year in A-ball, he went 18-3.
That's dealing.
That's a pretty good year. Breaking ball for a strike on a 2-0 count, 2-1. Alex 0 for his last 11. Down to 236. He had driven in a run himself and got an RBI from Blackman. Cut the lead in half. He walks the leadoff man. That's his 5th walk. And 2 of the first 4 have scored.
He's definitely still struggling with his command on all of his pitchers.
Hopefully Brian McCann has been able to put that strikeout behind him. I think so. A drive to deep right center. Blackman on the run at the wall. He'll haul it in. Brian gave it a ride, but just short. A long out.
Yeah, pretty much another mistake, but it sounded like he kind of caught it off the end, Joe, and maybe sounded like it cracked the bat a little bit. It just didn't have that sound like he really drove it.
Brian must not have felt it either, because the way he reacted. Still hit it almost 400 feet. Here's Chipper, who doubled and scored his last time up. Remember, he had that outside pitch covered his last time up. Ron hit that double down the left field line, so Chassin immediately pitches him inside to keep him honest. Ball roll to the right side. Handled there by Ellis. Gonzalez is at second with 2 out for Freeman, who has homered and struck out. Freddie launched one to center field his first time up for his 12th homer of the year and put the Braves on the board. Change up low. Freddie's average up to 274. His RBI is up to 39.
Yeah, and the scouting report, I'm sure, for the Rockies shows that Freddie Freeman has been hot of late. You see that Chassin is kind of staying away from him there, kind of pitching around the zone. You got Jason Hayward on deck, who's not as hot, but if you make a mistake, he'll make you pay also.
That's the pitch he struck him out on last time up, that back foot slider. Got him to chase that one. Freddie last year for Gwinnett, 18 homers, 87 RBIs in 124 games. He hit .319. Lays off that pitch down and in.
Freddie's slugging percentage has risen every month so far of the season. Each month that goes on. April he was .393, May .430, June .489, and so far in July 1,083.
Lays off a sinker. 3-1.
He's so hot that card that I just held burned my fingers a little bit.
I bet it did. That's just great improvement from a young player who's making great adjustments. That's 6 walks now for Chassin. Ties the season high. Two on, two out for Hayward, who has walked and fouled out. Pitches for Chassin. 48 strikes, 42 balls. I know, Ron, there's some distortion from our center field camera for the folks at home that make it look like Jason's farther from the plate than he actually is, but he's a mile from home plate.
Yeah, if I'm a pitcher, I just try to run everything in under his hands because he's diving. He's so far off the plate.
And that one got in on him, and he popped it up. Herrera wants it and make the catch. So a couple of walks don't amount to anything for the Braves in the 5th. We go to the 6th inning. They lead by 2.
Yeah, Derek Lowe laboring a little bit that last half inning, and let's hope he's over that now. Back out on the mound, but Charlie Blackmon RBI single in the 5th, and right now the difference, Derek Lowe's 3-run double.
Yeah. 1-2-3 inning here would be just what the doctor ordered for him. Wigginton, Smith, and Ellis due up. There's a good start to the inning. Wigginton 0 for 2, struck out, grounded out, as you see. A lot of teams out there circulating their desire to get a right-handed power hitter. And they're hard to come by, but Ty Wigginton's name has been floated around by several teams too. One out for Seth Smith.
Seems like every year his name's been thrown around. Teams looking for that right-handed power bat like you're talking about. again, he shows how valuable he is because he can play the infield and the outfield.
Smith has struck out and grounded out as well. Has dropped to 299. Just a bad one there. I know that Todd Helton was backing up Peyton Manning when Manning came to Tennessee to play quarterback. Isn't it Smith that was the backup at Mississippi?
I believe it was.
Eli Manning?
Mm-hmm. I believe it was, yes.
Three and one.
Both end up on the same ball club.
Well, if a football game breaks out, you like their chances.
That's right.
Full count. Pitch number 89 coming up for Derek. That got Brian McCann, and he is hurting.
Yeah, you don't want to see this. Let's just hope it's a little stinger.
It didn't sound stinging.
Yeah, it's a big stinger. That's why they wear all that protective gear.
Sometimes it doesn't matter.
Yes, it does. Plenty of times we're going after a game and catcher gets undressed and he's got bruises every spot on his body.
There's not enough money in Hal Galima's wallet to get me back there, and that's a lot. Plus, it's hot and it's muggy, as if he wasn't sweating enough already.
I always wondered why they say to be a catcher you have to have the tools of ignorance. Because I'd always say, well, then I should have been a catcher then.
Freddie Gonzalez can certainly relate. Former catcher. I mean, that's as direct as it gets.
His voice probably hit a couple of octaves higher after that one.
I mean, there's got to be some consideration to him coming out of the game. Big a difference as there was between Laz Diaz and Brian McCann. They are comrades in that. BMAC will continue. Full count. Off the plate. Low. Thought the ball was going to bounce for him, but again, the turf is so damp and soft from the rains that ball just kind of stuck. It didn't plug, but all but plugged in the grass, and then he had to hurry.
Yeah, this is going to be a tough play either way, but yeah, you almost want to come in and catch that on the fly. No chance for McCann after what just happened to him.
No, none. If you're Seth Smith, you're living right on that one. Mark Ellis singled his last time up, leading off the 5th inning. Shows bunt and pulls it back. Scored one of their 2 runs. Scored their only run last night. Two and 0. Some activity in the Atlanta bullpen. As that one is hit through Chipper into left field. Smith will stop at second. Chipper, after the fake bunt, was in even with the bag, and that was just rifled right by him. Second hit for Ellis, I'm assuming. And Freddie Gonzalez is on his way to the mound. Derek Lowe was never the same, Ron, after that bases clearing double in the bottom of the 4th.
Yeah, I was hoping that little injury timeout for Brian McCann would give him a blow, but didn't seem to help.
So the Braves make a pitching change, and we'll be right back. And they make the AT&T call to the bullpen, and George Sherrill comes on to work. "21 inherited runners, Ron, and only 2 have scored, and he's got runners at first and second, nobody out, or excuse me, 1 out.
George has been doing a pretty good job for the Braves coming out of the bullpen, especially against those tough left-handers. But I'd like to see that opponent's batting average go down a little bit.
Ian Stewart hit a comebacker to the mound against Lowe, and he also walked and scored a run in the 5th. Just called back up from Colorado Springs. Curveball in there for a strike. Braves have passed San Diego for the best bullpen ERA. Best team ERA for Atlanta as well. 0-2 to Stewart. Two on, one out. Braves up by 2. We're in the 6th. Sherrill takes a little extra time here. Now he's ready. And struck him out. I love that pitch. I love that slide step, kind of lunge at him, and then just kind of lollipop that break.
This is what throws the rhythm off for the hitter. Is there's no timing because he's just jumping at you all of a sudden. It's almost like a slide step, and all of a sudden he has that short release, good breaking ball, and it just fools you.
So George gets his job done. He gets the lefty. Another pitching change. We'll be back to tell you who it is.
Perfect guy to come in this situation and try to get that ground ball. Not necessarily a strikeout. You'll take it if you can get it, but he's just trying to get this out.
And he'll have to face Chris Iannetta, the catcher, who has lined out and grounded out. A little slow tapper, but Chipper fielded this time up. Good speed on the bases. Smith at second. Ellis at first for Colorado. Pretty impressive splits there.
And that's why he's in the ball game now, to get this tough righty out.
Two 2-0. His only appearance since being called back up was 2 days ago against Baltimore. Went 2/3 of an inning. Zeros across. Had a strikeout.
Ooh,
3-0.
A pretty good pitch here. And yeah. It's like a strike to me.
Yeah, I don't know what was wrong with that. That was coming back. 3-0. Let's see if he's hacking away. Taking all the way, and it's a strike. Ryan Spilborghs, by the way, has a bat in the on-deck circle. He would hit for Chacin if Iannetta reaches. play. Full count. Runners will be moving.
Anyway, make him swing it.
I think Corey surprises people. You assume most guys are kind of sidearm submariners, or they don't throw very hard. But like Peter Moylan, Guerin can rush it up there. Runners go. And a hard hit ball, base hit. Seth Smith will score easily. Ellis will stop at second, and it's a one-run game. And Iannetta has his 32nd RBI. 4-3 Atlanta. Run charged to low.
This is a slider that's a mistake up in the strike zone, and it catches the middle of the plate. But to hit that pitch, you almost have to be sitting on it with a guy that throws that hard sidearm with a good hard sinker. So I think he was thinking right along with Guerin there.
That'll get Spilborghs to the plate to hit for Chassin. 223 average on the year. 5 for 25 as a pinch hitter with a homer. And 6 RBIs.
Hey!
6 of his 15 for the year. Yeah, he is a terror in this ballpark, too. Came into this series with a 4.17 average here.
Hey!
And Guerin gets ahead of him 0-2.
Well, that's what he didn't do that last at bat.
Yep.
Get that strike one, and it gives you the luxury to be able to throw whatever you want. And as you can see, 0-2, he can do pretty much whatever he wants to here.
And how'd he lay off that pitch? Struck him out. Didn't lay off that one. But it's a one-run game now, 4-3. And as we do, we'll check out our McDonald's fan of the game. Put him down, sir. There he is. Blue shirt, blue bro hawk. Seen a lot of those this weekend.
They're becoming pretty popular.
The new pitcher for Colorado as we go to the bottom of the 6th inning. It'll be left-hander Eric Stoltz, who we have seen before, most recently a couple of years ago with the Dodgers. Back in 2009, he made 10 starts for them, but spent all of 2010 in Japan, pitching for the Hiroshima Carp. Went 6-10 in Japan. Signed with the Rockies as a minor league free agent in the offseason and just got called up. This is just his second outing since he was recalled from Colorado Springs. And he'll face the bottom third of the order for Atlanta. Ugla, McLouth in the pitcher spot. Dan has walked twice tonight. It's always a good sign.
Dan is maybe starting to have that thinking where he's going to try to drive the ball up the middle, and he's seen the ball better. As a result, he has 2 walks on the night, like you mentioned. But I think he's going to have to do that more consistently.
And he sends one deep to left. He can walk on this one if he wants, but instead he'll trot. Above the walkway in the terrace level.
Yeah, this was a no-doubter here. Stoltz thinking, I'm just going to get ahead first pitch. He throws one right down the middle, belt high. Dan Ugla right now, if you throw him, if you make a mistake in, especially inner half of the plate, he can hit it a long way.
Nate McLouth shows bunt, ducks out of the way. Home run number 13 for Ugla. 30 RBIs. 2 walks and a homer tonight.
You know, I can understand maybe missing your spot there, but Ionetta wasn't set up exactly on the outside corner, so you think against Dan Ugla, a guy that's struggling at the plate, all you do is stay away from him. Don't throw anything inside.
And he's gone 3-0 on McLouth. Nate probably taking all the way, and he is. 3-1. Wilkin Ramirez has a bat. Looks like he'll hit for Guerin. Full count. So the Braves bounce right back on the homer by Ugla to push their lead back to 2. And a welcome back for Eric Stoltz. Payoff pitch popped up. Like he got a good pitch to hit. But Stewart will handle that one. 1 out. Pitcher spot due up now, and here's our Zaxby's indescribably good play. And how about this bases loaded double by Derek Lowe back in the 4th inning.
Derek gets a pitch inside from Chassin and ready for that fastball and turned on it. Just used hands there. Something he was working on in batting practice.
He was good at bat. It really worked to get the count back full to get that fastball. Wilkin Ramirez pinch hits for Guerin. 200, 2 for 10, 2 for 5 though as a pinch hitter. Big cut there, 1-1. Five runs on 5 hits for Atlanta. Changeup, broken bat flare towards center. Blackman coming on. He broke back and couldn't recover, and that'll drop in for a hit. Wilkin Ramirez with another pinch hit.
Yeah, it's something good to see out of a young hitter. Pretty good pitch. He goes out and tries to put it in play off the end of the plate there and catches it off the end of the bat, actually. Just sometimes it just takes some good placement to get a base hit. You don't always have to hit it hard.
While they chat, I want to send out some birthday greetings to one of the all-time great Braves fans ever. Can't get to the ballpark much these days, but always watches, never misses a game on TV. Mabel Callens will turn 95 in a few days, and happy birthday, Mrs. Callens. We appreciate your loyalty to the Atlanta Braves. 95 years young.
That is wonderful.
Jordan Schaefer 1 for 2 tonight. Singled in the first. Fly out deep to center in the third. Shows bunt, takes a strike. Phillies have added to their lead. They lead the Marlins 8-2, batting in the top of the seventh. Cole Hamels pitching for the Phils tonight. Braves are scheduled to see him next Sunday in the finale of that series in Philadelphia. He'll be matched up with Derek Lowe. Back through the middle. Backhanded by Ellis. Nice flip. Relay to first, not in time. Nice play by Mark Ellis to get the lead runner. 2 down.
Mark Ellis always steady at second base for the Oakland A's for all those years, and Colorado found a good one. This guy's got good range, really steady over there at second base, and every once in a while he'll run into one at the plate. So a good pickup by the Rockies.
Boy, Jonathan Herrera lucky to get out of the way on Wilkin Ramirez too. Ramirez is a big guy. 2 out for Gonzalez, who's 0 for 2 with a walk. That's lined up the middle, a soft liner caught by Ellis, who had him positioned perfectly, and that'll end the inning. So the first pitch homer by Dan Uggla to lead off the inning puts the Braves up 5-3, and we go to the 7th. And as we go to the top half of the 7th inning, the Braves make yet another AT&T call to the bullpen. And this time it'll be Eric O'Flaherty who comes on, and he'll be making his 42nd appearance.
Eric's been really good out of the bullpen, too, again, against these tough left-handed hitters coming up. Braves have 3 really good ones in their bullpen, and, of course, you can back him up with Johnny Venters, one of the best in all of Major League Baseball. See that earned run average in relief. 2 lefties at the top.
Yeah.
Stardo and O'Flaherty.
Stardo pretty much taken over, I think, as the closer for the Phillies, given all their injuries. Doing a good job. Eric's 26, 6'2", 220. Had a lot of family and friends in Seattle for that series. He's from Walla Walla. And Charlie Blackmon leads off the 7th against him. Takes a strike. Blackmon a single and an RBI back in the 5th. He's 1 for 3. Couldn't pull the trigger on that one, and he wishes he had. Behind in the count, 1-2.
I was talking about it earlier. These guys out of the bullpen for the Braves, for the most part, they come out and they throw strikes.
Over the mound, Alex is there. Gets him by a step.
That play is not supposed to be that close.
Tell you what, that guy can run.
To see the clock on him get down to first base.
Jonathan Herrera is the next hitter. Take a look at him going down the line.
I love the hustle. Those long strides. Throwing a lot of ground. Kind of that Devon White kind of run.
Yeah, good call. Good comparison. Herrera's a switch hitter, hitting .255 right-handed, .240 left-handed coming in. He's 1 for 2 with a walk, left-handed tonight.
About the injuries to Troy Tulowitzki and Carlos Gonzalez. And Carlos took a little bit of a BP yesterday. Swung the bat a little bit. He's going to wait till tomorrow to try it again.
Another little soft humpback liner for Herrera. 2 hits for him tonight. They've both been just like that. They'll bring Helton to the plate, representing the tying run.
See that right wrist, that's Carlos Gonzalez there, and you see that tape underneath that wrap. I don't know if he's going to be back before the All-Star break or not, but he's going to try to swing again tomorrow.
Helton tonight has walked, has grounded out a couple of times, 0 for 2. Jim Tracy was really kind of hedging a little bit on when Gonzalez might be available to play. He's doubtful for tomorrow, maybe on Thursday on the last day of the series at the earliest. One to Helton. Again into the crowd. Heads up, folks. Nice play with that young man. Good catch. Flaherty ahead in the count. That's lifted. Slicing down the line, McLeod into foul territory, makes the catch. Runner tags, but he'll hold as Nate gets it in quickly. 2 down. tough hitter retired, and here's Wigginton, who's 0 for 3.
Good play by Nate McLouth here. All those years of playing left field for myself, that's one of those balls you never give up on, because it can start out in the stands, but it actually comes back towards the field of play. So Nate McLouth on his horse didn't give up on that ball.
Doing a good job out in left field. Being a guy who's played center field most of his career, has to have that kind of coverage by the Atlanta outfielders with Hayward, Schaefer, and McLouth. Good range for all three.
Good throwing arms also.
Wigginton takes ball 1. Braves led 4-0. The lead was cut to 4-3, and then Ugla homered in the bottom of the 6th to make it 5-3. Freddie Freeman homered in the 2nd inning for Atlanta to give them their first run.
I got to throw anything too far in. Good pitch.
Buried it in there.
I'm thinking if you go in, you better get it way in. Because if you make a mistake, it could be a tie ball game.
Ahead in the count here, 1-2. Wouldn't go after that one.
Ty Wigginton 2 for 2 with a home run against O'Flaherty.
And got him to chase. Little two-seamer running away from him, and O'Flaherty leaves a runner at first. We go to the 7th inning stretch. Braves up by 2. Field. Time for our Home Depot know-how question of the game. Comes from Norma from Asheville, who wants to know who will be the next hitter after Derek Jeter to reach 3,000 career hits.
That's a great question. Derek Jeter had a couple hits tonight, so he's only 4 away now from 3,000, and there's some pretty good names on this list, and I'm going to have to go with A-Rod. I know Ichiro has averaged 200 hits for the last 10 years, but a little older when he first got here. So
Johnny Damon, I didn't know he was that high on the list.
Yeah,
man, oh man.
Yeah, under the radar.
Man, I'm with you. I think A-Rod might be the next guy. He stays healthy. Speaking of healthy, looks like Brian McCann may have the color back in his face. But 0 for 3 tonight. home run by McCann gave the Braves their 5th run of the night. They've got some pretty impressive stats working when they score 5 runs or more. At home, counting last year and so far this year. As McCann sends that one to right, but right at Smith. Last year and this year at home, when they score 5 or more, they're 45-3. Again, you give this pitching staff some runs to work with. They're going to take care of business.
Yeah, we showed you those numbers of the bullpen, especially if you get to that 7th, 8th, and 9th inning. You like your chances.
This year they're 27-2 and have won 13 straight when they score 5 or more. Chipper has a double tonight, 1 for 3 and a run scored. Switches around bat right-handed. Hitting .293 from this side of the plate. 2 of his 7 homers. The tail of the tape, by the way, on that home run by Ugla, leading off last inning, 426 feet into the terrace level. First row of the terrace level, it looked like.
Yeah, he got all of that one. Just the sound of it.
Freddie Gonzalez has told Dan just start today. He's told him that several days.
Yeah.
Forget about your average, just start today and go to work. 3-1 to Chipper. Full count.
Joe, one of the best years I had was ended up with a .303 average, and I ended up with doing a 30-30 season that year, but it was because of my mental thinking was just base hits. That's all I was trying to do all season long, and just everything else fell into place.
Good changeup from Stoltz in a 3-2 count. It's Chipper. 2 down for Freeman. Confidence is a wonderful thing in this game where you fail so often.
Yeah, and you have to have that right mental approach. You know, like I said, I was known as a pull hitter, but I got on top of the plate. I adjusted to what I had to do and what the pitchers were trying to do to me. And you're going to have to make those adjustments, and that's why I say Dan Ugla has to kind of set his sights more towards center field than pulling all the time, because the pitchers are not going to come inside to you that often. They're going to make you try to hit that ball the other way.
And I keep saying, Ron, that he's so quick inside anyway that he'll still react to that pitch. Even if he's thinking up the middle or right center, he's still going to react to that inside pitch and be strong enough, quick enough to turn on it.
Right. Just because your thinking is up the middle, that doesn't mean that's where you're going to hit it. It just gets you in position to drive the ball where it's pitched.
Freddie laces that one to right, but it'll hook right to Smith. And a 1-2-3 inning for Stoltz. We've played 7. Braves up by 2. 5-3. They make the AT&T call to the bullpen to the Braves, and Johnny Venners on to work the 8th. He pitched the 8th last night, gave up a walk, but nothing more. His ERA at 1.56 for the year, and most of that came out of 2 outings on the last road trip, one in San Diego and one in Seattle.
54 strikeouts in 52 innings. More than a strikeout per inning. And you mentioned it, Joe, last night. Struggled a little bit with his command, but fought his way through it. After, what, 4 days off?
Yeah. A scheduled day off, and then he was held out on purpose against Baltimore the whole series to give him a little rest. 9 earned runs allowed, 6 of them came in those 2 outings on the road trip. And he'll face Seth Smith, then Ellis and Stewart here in the 8th. Smith 1 for 3, singled his last time up and scored a run. One and one on a 96 fastball.
Yeah, you know, that's just that offsets that fastball. I mean, it sets it up so well. You come in throwing as a left-hander, throwing 96 miles an hour, and then you break off a good hard slider.
Smith stays alive there.
As a hitter, you have no choice but to gear up for the fastball and prey on the other ones.
2 years ago, when Johnny started the season in AA, finished in AAA, there was really nothing to indicate that this was about to happen. 2-2. He was a starter at both places. He went 4-4 at Mississippi with a 2.76 ERA. That's pretty darn good there. All starts. And then at Gwinnett, 17 starts, 4-7 with a 5.62 ERA. That one was.
Well, Joe, it's a strike, but you see where McCann set up. He set up off the plate away, and he has to reach back, and that fools the umpire just about every time it happens.
And nowhere near with that one, and a leadoff walk in the 8th. Pretty good at bat by Smith. George Sherrill, a third of an inning, struck out the only batter he faced. Corey Guerin gave up a hit and one of Derek Lowe's runs, but he struck out a batter to get out of the 6th inning. O'Flaherty an inning, gave up a hit, recorded a strikeout, no runs. Mark Ellis 2 for 3 tonight. And hits that one hard, but foul, says Wally Bell. That was close.
You know, these hitters know that, like I was saying a little bit ago, that Johnny Venners is going to rush it up there, so they're going up there already, starting early.
And took a little off there and found the mark. 0-2. Mark Ellis, since the Rockies got him from Oakland, is 10 for 21 in the purple and black. Didn't chase there. 1-2.
Like I mentioned earlier, Mark Ellis, a good player, all-around player. A little change of scenery for him has done him well.
Down and in and almost hit Ellis on one hop with that one. 2-2.
And you know, that's something that Brian McCann doesn't get a lot of pub on, is blocking balls. I mean, he's been really good at that. He wanted to block it the way he did earlier, but he's been pretty good at the balls in the dirt.
Right. Another full count. Got ahead of him 0-2, and now it's 3-2. Fans trying to help Venters out here. Ellis right on that fastball. It was 94.
Tracy not choosing to start the runner at first base. You got a strikeout pitcher up there. You want to take your chance on strikeout, throw out, and run yourself out of the inning.
Still not going. It's fouled again.
Colorado on the road this season. In April, they were 10-3. And since then, they're 9-19. So that Coors Field effect, I think, has set in.
And they've lost their last 4 in a row on the road. Trailing tonight. 3-2 pitch. Hit hard, past Chipper. Mark Ellis had some good swings, and he kept one fair, and he found the hole. And the Rockies are in business here. A walk and a single.
Like I said, Ellis is a good all-around player, and he's always been able to hit the fastball. Oakland was one of those teams that always did well in interleague play, and that's because they could hit the fastball, and this guy was one of them.
Tying runs aboard for Ian Stewart. 0 for 2 with a walk and a run scored. He may be bunting here. Swinging, grounding to Ugla, who bobbles it. Can't get the double play started, but he gets an out at first, and that'll work as good as a bunt and move the tying runs into scoring position for Chris Iannetta yet again.
Not sure if Dan Ugla could have turned this. He was going to try to go to second base with it. His momentum is going towards first, so it's going to be a long throw to second. Not sure if they could have turned two or not, but I sure would have liked to have seen him try.
He might have gotten that runner, though, and kept the double play in order. That would have helped.
Exactly.
Iannetta steps in, takes a strike. He came up with runners at first and second in the 6th inning. And on a full count with 2 out and the runners going, he singled in a run. 0-2. Jason Giambi has grabbed a bat. He's in the on-deck circle. Left-handed slugger. Having a good year. The 0-2 to Iannetta. Got him looking. 3 straight pitches. Looked like a good pitch, but Iannetta is looking back at Laz Diaz.
Yeah, Venner says, I have enough of this, and that's on the outside corner. That is a strike there. Ron McCann actually brings his glove back over the plate.
Roger McDowell out to maybe give a scouting report. Johnny Venters on Giambi. The on-deck hitter is Blackman. Giambi on the year hitting .282 with 9 homers. Only 2 for 17 though as a pinch hitter, but always a threat.
He has come up with some huge hits for Colorado this year. A couple game-winning home runs. Some dangerous guy to pitch to.
Hitting .235 against left-handed pitching, 4 for 17 with 2 of his homers. second and third, 2 out. Braves up by 2 in the 8th. Fastball went right after him. 0-1. 95. Slider again blocked by McCann.
Talked about that earlier also. These pitchers on the Atlanta Braves pitching staff, they trust McCann back there blocking. You'll see a lot of pitches thrown in the dirt with runners at second and third or in scoring position because they know he's going to get down there and block them.
Good slider and a swing and a miss. 1-2. $17,718 here. On their feet. Another slider off the end of the bat and out of play.
Yeah, good pitch. If Jason Giambi's going to beat you, he's going to have to beat you away.
Yeah, it was almost too good. Even though it was away from him, he could reach it.
Well, he could drive the ball out of the ballpark the other way. Been pretty consistent in that.
Big breaking ball. Finners comes back to strike out Iannetta and Giambi and leave runners at second and third. We go to the bottom of the 8th. Five to 3. Ugla and Freddie Freeman with home runs. And how about Toyota plays of the game? Speaking of homers.
Yeah, we showed you that moonshot earlier, and here's a couple. One by Freddie Freeman and the other one in the 5th by Dan Ugla. Did not miss this one, and you see where this ball goes up in that first or second row up past the walkway there.
Henson and Hudson looked like they lost sight of it. It went so far. 426 feet, the tail of the tape. New pitcher on for the Rockies, Matt Lindstrom, former Florida Marlin, 2-1 with a 2.94 ERA. Hard thrower. 280 average against him, though. That's hard to figure as hard as this guy throws. Fastball slider.
Well, the one knock on him is you saw those 10 walks. That's kind of been the knock. He comes in, sometimes it gets a little wild and doesn't get strike one, and starts loading the bases up. So got to be patient.
Hayward tonight, a walk foul out and a pop-up. 0 for 2. Two and 2 the count. Chopper to short. Herrera will have to hurry, and he does, and gets him. One out in the Braves' 8th. And here is Ugla, who's had a good night. 2 walks, that homer. He has scored twice. The home run was his 13th.
Dan Ugla facing his former teammate down in Florida. Should have a pretty good idea how he's going to pitch him.
First pitch slider and a strike. That one missed to even the count. Line to right center. Boy, is that a good thing to see. Ugla's going to go for 2, and he'll have it. A big night for him. And since the season just started tonight for Dan Ugla, he's leading the league in total bases.
Well, that's good to see it. Again, I mean, you see how the catcher's set up outside, and this is what they're going to do to him. The only time they're going to come inside is if they're going to make a mistake in there. They're going to have to come in way off the plate, or he's going to end up hurting them. But for the most part, they're going to come in off the plate, and they're going to stay away from him. So he's going to have to do a lot more of that.
Good approach there. Nate McLeod. 0 for 2 with a walk and a run scored. He and Ugla were both on base, as was Chipper. And Derek Lowe hit a bases loaded, base clearing double in the 4th. Broken back to first. Helton will handle that. Runner to third, 2 out. And Brooks Conrad will pinch hit. Brooks got the start last night, playing for Chipper at third base. Went 1 for 4. A single and a couple of strikeouts. Eight for 31 as a pinch hitter. 3 homers, 7 driven in. Little insurance run at third base wouldn't hurt. From Lindstrom.
Brooks has been so good off the bench for Atlanta. You got to remember, when he comes in, and he and Eric Hensky, when they come in to pinch hit, they're facing some of the nastiest guys out of those bullpens.
Yeah, that's probably something we don't talk enough about, Ron, is not only do they have a lot of late inning heroics, but who they get those hits off of.
Yeah, it's no easy walk in the park, so to speak, but these guys are professionals at it. They know how to get themselves ready for those at bats. They know what it takes for them to be ready for a guy that's they're going to face that's throwing 98 miles an hour. Got to have that mentality.
Strike call, 1-2. Braves only have one hit in this series with a runner in scoring position. They're 1 for 13. And that one hit came from Derek Lowe. And Conrad down on strikes on a big, hard breaking ball. And the Braves leave that runner at third. We go to the ninth. Craig Kimbrell time. And the National League Rookie of the Month for the month of June is on to try and finish it, and that means it's the AT&T call to the bullpen for Craig Kimbrell.
A hard-throwing righty, Craig Kimbrell, having a fantastic season. Still could end up on that All-Star team, but take a look at those numbers. 67 strikeouts in 43 innings, and opponents are only hitting 188 against him. He is as good as they come out of the bullpen.
A save tonight would tie him with Jonathan Papelbon for the all-time mark by a rookie before the All-Star break in saves. Papelbon set that 5 years ago, as you see. In the top of the order for the Rockies, Blackman, Herrera, and Helton due up. Kimbrell last night faced Ellis, Helton, and Herrera. Did not strike anyone out, but got him 3 up and 3 down. Blackman 1 for 4 tonight. He's driven in a run. Vinters an inning. Gave up a hit and a walk, but struck out the last 2 guys with runners at second and third. Did a great job to finish it up in the 8th. 96 fastball on the inside corner, 1-1.
Blackman doing what you have to do late in the ball game as a leadoff hitter, is you take a strike, try to work your way on base any way you can.
Breaking ball, chopped right into the ground and right to Kimbrell. 1 out in the 9th. Herrera last night made the last out of the game when he flied out to Jordan Schaefer in the raindrops. He's had a good night. He's been on base 3 times tonight. Single to left, single to right, a walk. He's also flied out. Nice easy gas right there. 0-1. Slider, strike 2.
You can almost tell when Craig's going to have a good inning because he doesn't go out there and start overthrowing.
Well, one of the concerns early in the year was the fact that he'd come in sometimes, Ron, and walk some guys. I don't want to jinx him, but the fact is he hasn't walked a batter in any of his last 8 outings. Got him to chase. 2 down.
Yeah, good backdoor slider, breaking ball here, and it's off the plate. But again, when you have a hitter in a pitcher's count, you can pretty much do whatever you want to for him. That's a good pitch. Throw it off the plate and see if he'll chase it.
And go right after Todd Helton here. The worst he can make it is 5-4. Flied out last night off of Kimbrel.
That's a good point, Joe. You know, if he hits a solo shot, so what? You make Wigginton hit one, make him hit back to back. You don't want to walk guys and all of a sudden Wigginton runs into one. It's a tie ball game.
Fought that off. 1-1.
Craig Kimbrel in his career against the middle of the order, the 3, 4, and 5 hitters, are 9 for 17 with no home runs, with 3 RBIs against him.
9 for 75. Wow.
9 for 75. That is very, very good. So go right after him.
Two and 1 the count, 2 out. Hard hit into right field, base hit. Helton turned on a 96 fastball and has his first hit of the night. That'll dampen the enthusiasm for a moment from this crowd, but they're still on their feet as Ty Wigginton comes to the plate. 0 for 4 with a couple of strikeouts tonight. Braves looking for their 51st win and their 12th in their last 15 games. .98, best fastball of the night.
And that's another thing that Craig's really good at. He's not afraid to go after these guys. I guess with 98, though, you don't have to be afraid.
Oh, and 2. Crowd back into it. Wish you were here. Helton will trot to second base. Probably defensive indifference. No stolen base.
Good try there by Craig Kimbrel. They throw one in the dirt, see if he'll chase it. Still got him in your count, so you can do whatever you want to up there.
Oh. Just missed with that one. 2 and 2. Stand with the fastball. Yep, Powder River. Ball game. 99 on that pitch. Craig Kimbrel ties the record for most saves by a rookie before the All-Star break. He's got number 26. And the Braves chalk up their 51st win of the year.
This is a great win by Atlanta. Derek Lowe gave them some solid innings. Actually got the big hit of the night, that 3-run double. A couple of solo shots by Dan Uggla and Freddie Freeman. Bullpen comes out, does the job. Again, you hand them over a lead, more times than none, they're going to make that lead stand up.
Ron and I'll be back with more right after this break.